Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back out on the golf course and we're with Mid Handicap Dave. Step on in, Dave. Welcome back, how are we doing?
I'm alright.
Not bad, 7 o'clock in the morning here. We've not got a bad morning for it. It's actually quite mild, isn't it?
And I found my hat.
And he's found his hat. Good news, we don't need to have that whip round anymore. So, Dave, obviously last week we saw you had your putter fitting.
Yep. So
how's it gone with your putter this week?
I like it, works really well.
Yeah.
I like the way it looks behind the ball, so more than happy with it.
Perfect. I mean, we had a lot of good comments over the last couple of weeks through the fitting for Dave's new putter, and you saw the process, what we go through to see what's going to be right, what suits Dave's eye, and by the sounds of it, he's liked it. So what I wanted to do today is get back out on the golf course and have another assessment of how his game is. So we've been through his putting, we've been through his chipping, we've done some bunkers, and obviously we've fitted him for a new putter. So out here on the course today, we're going to use Arcos, but I'm also going to caddy. We're going to use Arcos just for the numbers at the end, but I'm going to caddy around today, give him the numbers, show him what shots I think to hit and see what score he can get. And we're going to then see if the driver's still a problem. If the driver's still a problem, that's next week's video. So, let's get on with it. So I'd just like to thank James Robinson. I know he'll be annoyed, but I am using his coffee mug again today. Get that in there before he complains and comments. So first hole here, we know at Waterfront is a par 4, fairway slopes from right to left, but with Dave, what we saw in Arcos is his misses were more to the right than they were to the left. So we're going to use the tee to our advantage today. So I want Dave to tee up on the right hand side. We're going to aim just left of the flag, so we'll pick that, we could use that divot in front of the ball as a reference.
Yep. No.
Yeah. And then go through your normal routine, Dave,
yep.
And let's play well.
Cheers.
A little bit low, but down the middle.
Yep.
Okay, Dave, so we're in here now. Good drive, fairway.
Yeah.
First fairway of the day, not bad for this time in the morning. So we've got 165 for the flag. It's down breeze, but the pin's back left. So the pin's tucked away, so we can look on the green there and we can see that it is back left, so it is bringing the bunker into play. So we've got to start looking here at what kind of club we'd use. So 165, what's your normal club?
It would be my 5 hybrid.
So it'd be 5 hybrid. So we'll go, it's a little bit down breeze, so I'm going to say 5 iron.
Okay.
And the reason I say 5 iron, we've got a lot of green to work with. The green's around about 100 feet long, so even if we're on the front of the green, we've got to putt. If we go long, it's thick rough, it's going to be a very hard up and down because it's going to be short-sided. So 5 iron, Dave. We know the slopes right to left,
yep.
So we're going to aim for the right half of the green, okay, and then get to your finish. So, not your best strike to start, but
no.
We've got a chip. Let's have a look. So Dave's gone there and had a quick look at his landing zone. So that's what we went through in his short game lessons. Picking a landing zone that he feels comfortable with, something that he can hit. What we discussed back in the fairway was the bunker was the bad miss. We don't want to be over here, but Dave's just giving the fans what they want. So he knows that you want to see him hit the hardest chip shots just to prove a point. So, Dave, what you thought?
Well, I had a word with James Robinson the other day, and he said this shot would be lob wedge all day long.
Lob wedge all day long.
I've not brought my lob wedge, so it's sand wedge.
Perfect, sand wedge. And where are you thinking about landing this ball?
I was thinking about going straight for the flag, but it looks a bit tight now. I've been up towards it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so Dave said there he's walked up to the flag and it looked like he could just go straight at it, but now coming back here he realises that that's not the play because it's very tight, it's a hard shot, and again he brings in potentially the bunker. So here I would be going 3 or 4 yards right of the flag, leave yourself a putt just under. I know I've played the course a lot, but that will leave a straight putt. So as a caddy or as a person who would be telling him some advice, I would be looking at going a little bit right, and if it's a little bit short, he's going to have a straight uphill putt, and a straight uphill putt gives us the best chance. We don't want something that's a big swinger, we don't want something that's downhill, and we don't want to be in the fringe or chipping again. So Dave, I'm happy with the club because we need a little bit of loft, but we're going to go to the right of the flag.
Okay. Not the best, but it's up there.
So potentially still had a little bit too much height, it popped up, but from that lie it was thick in the rough. We want to make sure it's getting up and onto the green. And as I said, if we're short and a little bit right of the flag, we've got a straight uphill putt. So
well, yeah, because if I'd have gone for it, if I'd have gone for the flag, that distance might well have ended up either in the rough or the bunker.
That's it, perfect explanation there from Dave. If he'd gone straight at the flag, he potentially would have been in the bunker or in the rough, and then we're staring a double bogey in the face on the first hole. Then it's a long 9 holes. Okay, Dave, what's it feeling like?
Feels like a 1.
Right to left, left to right?
Right to left.
Right to left, okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. There's not much in that putt, so we'll line it up, use the new putter. Slightly different hole here for Dave. This is now a par 5, so last time we played off the yellows, it is a par 4. With it being 9 holes, it switches around and some of the holes change. So par 5, different angle here. We're still going to go driver. See the bunker in the distance. I will put a flyover of the hole on now so you can see how the hole works. We're going to aim the left edge of that bunker. From there, hopefully Dave's in the fairway again. We'll start to build. So a steady start, Dave. 5.
Yeah, 5, take that.
You know, good drive, missed hit the second slightly, but we haven't hit any balls this morning because the range isn't open as of yet, so we've just come straight out onto the golf course. A good chip and just left the putt short. It was a good read.
Yeah, one back.
Stroke looked a lot better, as you saw from the video. So let's par 5, driver. So balance finish, yeah?
Yeah.
Straight up the middle, another low one, but straight up the middle. Stay there, oh, just in the right semi, good shot. We're in the rough, so we just missed obviously the fair. It was a good drive. Par 5 here, you've seen from the flyover that we've got 3 bunkers down on the right, and Dave knows the course now because he has played it all of once. So we know we need to avoid those. This bunker here, obviously we're not thinking about that because it's not into play. The lie's not bad. So we want to get something down there. We've got 200 yards to the other bunkers. So what would you be saying? Would you be a hybrid?
Yeah, we're looking at 3 hybrid.
Perfect, so 3 hybrid. On this occasion, the ball's sat up nicely, but we can get, at this time of year, snaggy lies in the rough and the hybrid doesn't always cut through. So sometimes you might need to take an iron. We might have another example of that later on in the round. But for now, 3 hybrid. We're going to aim for the left side of the green in the distance. From there, if he pulls it a little bit, it's okay. If he pushes it, it's not going to go into the bunkers and it shouldn't reach. So, play away, Dave. Great shot. Dead straight, in the fairway, just short of the traps.
Happy days.
So, good shot here from Dave. Hit it into the fairway. Just short of the bunkers, so I thought it might be a bit more short than this, but it's a perfect layup. So he's picked the right club. We've had that discussion. And we've got it down here. So Dave, you just mentioned in Scotland your RCOS system was saying this part of the game was your weakest.
Yeah, it's not great. It's something I think I'm going to have to concentrate on winter.
Yeah, so like I said, Dave's RCOS system is telling him which parts of the game, when he comes for a lesson, what we're going to work on a lot of the time. So in Scotland, although he had a good time, maybe a few too many tenants, he didn't play great from this distance in. So we're going to see today. So we've got 100 yards. So Dave, normally what would you use for that distance?
I'd be looking at either 9-iron or pitching wedge, depending which way the wind is. So probably try 9-iron.
So Dave would either go pitching wedge or 9-iron, but because of the wind it's slightly into today, this hole always seems to play into the wind, he's going to go 9-iron, which I'm more than happy with. If we're long of the hole, we can see that the pin's a red pin, it is at the front. If he's long and he's in the middle of the green, he can put down to that, 2 putts, gets out of a par. He does get a shot on this hole, so it's one of those. He now just wants to hit the middle of the green, take all the trouble out of the way. If he hits a pitching wedge and leaks it right, it's in the bunker, it's a hard shot, we're staring at bogey. So, 9-iron Dave. Perfect, so middle of the green and Dave's hit to 6 feet, so He's getting there. One day. He'll beat Mr. Robinson, that's a guarantee. So great shot, Dave.
Thank you.
I'd say it's 8 feet. I said 6 feet before,
Yeah.
but hey, we'll be honest, 8 feet. So go through your normal process. Let's see how this putter's working. So downhill putt here. But that was the play. Dave played for the middle of the green. He hit it dead straight, and as a result, he's able to be close. If he pushed it slightly, it'd be on the right half. If he pulled it, he'd have an easier chip than he would from a bunker. So he's going to aim, point it.
Feels relatively straight.
Okay, so feels straight, so I'll come in and double check. I'd say it's a 1 right to left, so we're going to go just on the edge, or just outside the right edge. It's downhill as well, so here when amateurs are thinking about putting downhill, I always see the pressure gets to them, they start to grip the putter tighter and it's all force. Here, looking at the hole here as a visual to do your practice swings can be good, because you take away the fear of it being downhill, you just start to judge the pace. So Dave, come on in. Okay, so it did break, as we expected, right to left. Just the pace, let it die a little bit more. So, but a nice, easy par. Good par. So 1 over through 2 holes, so not a bad start, Dave.
Happy with that, yeah.
Take that. So the 3rd hole here, the fry up. Can't wait for a fry up, to be fair. But the flyover, even, is here now for you. So we can see that it's a par 4. We know it's a little bit of a blind tee shot, and then it goes downhill towards the green. Very big green here, so it's something we need to get off the tee, leave ourselves between 150 and 120 in, so we need around about a 220 yard shot. So what would that be, Dave?
Probably 3 wood.
3 wood, so we don't need to go driver. We know Dave's been quite good today with the driver, but 3 wood's the play here. 3 wood's going to get us over the top of the hill, a little bit more consistent, and then we're going to have a shot into the green. So 3 wood it is, Dave. For Dave's shot shape, which sometimes is a little bit of a fade, we're going to use the right hand side of the tee box again. From there we can aim just left of the markers in front, and then from there we'll fade to the right hand side of the fairway, which, as we know, all feeds back to the left. So hopefully, I mean, we've talked a good game.
Yeah.
Dave,
Talk to you.
come on, pull your finger out. Good finish. A little bit down on that. Snuck up the right hand side, so we'll see if it's near the ditch. So not your best shot, Dave, again.
Nowhere near my best shot.
So we've seen a pattern so far. So on the first hole, Dave had the ball above his feet live for his second shot, caught it a little bit heavy. The same there with the hybrid, the ball was above his feet, topped it, and we've ended up short. So we see a pattern there. So awkward lies, we're going to go through awkward lies, but is that a lie you normally struggle with?
Yeah, either sloping away or sloping towards me. It's never great.
Yeah, so ball below or ball above his feet, Dave normally struggles with. So comment below, which one do you struggle with most? Do you struggle with them all? We're going to go through this with full swing as well as short game as we have. Start to see how a mid-handicapper can adjust to make sure they get a good strike, because Dave hit a reasonable tee shot and we had a good chance of getting into the middle of the green, but now we've left ourselves with a 70-yard pitch shot, although Dave's last pitch shot was a delight. So 70 yards, Dave. What club are you thinking?
Approach wedge.
Approach wedge. So your approach wedge is what degree?
52.
It's 52. So Dave's 52 degree is his approach wedge. Where are you thinking about landing it?
I was going to go directly for the flag.
So Dave was going to go directly at the flag. Again, a little bit of course knowledge, and you'll know this at your own course. The hole here is cut just past the slope and it all feeds to the right. So I'm going to get Dave to aim slightly left of the flag to allow that ball to then fall towards that. and something just landing on the green will run out and fall. So I'm happy with the approach wedge. So grab that and let's see how close we can hit it. So one big thing I want to discuss with Dave from here is tour average. So the tour average from this distance between 50 and 75 yards is 15 feet on tour. So although if I said to you or said to Dave, how close would you expect to hit the ball, I always get, well, inside 10 feet I should have a good putt, or inside 6 feet, you know, a good chance. Tour average is 15 feet, so if we can get Dave inside 15 feet, we're doing a good job. If we get him to 20 feet, he's still got a chance at a putt, but we should be 2-putting from there.
So I'm kind of setting my expectations too high when I'm thinking 10, 12 feet.
Yeah, exactly. So Dave's setting his expectations too high, and then you start to disappoint yourself. You start to say your pitching's not great, and then you start to get negative, then your confidence goes, and then I start to see people struggling. So start to give yourself realistic targets. It's good to set 15 as a goal, yeah, but let's be realistic. 20 to 25 feet, as silly as it is good from here for a mid-handicapper. So let's have a go, Dave. So just ran through. Dave obviously didn't listen. I said hit it to the left of the flag. Dave went to the right of the flag.
I listened, I just didn't have control.
Well, true, we'll go with that. So just through the back of the green, so he's got a putt. Again, that's gone to probably, I'm going to say 20, 25 feet. So Dave wouldn't be happy with that shot. It's gone onto the fringe, but in terms of averages, that would be average for your handicap. Okay. So let's go have a putt. So Dave, just on the edge of the rough, so you're thinking putter?
Yeah.
Okay, so from here, what I want you to try is your hybrid. So you've got hybrid 3.
Got a 3, a 4 and a 5.
Let's go 3. Hybrid 3, so that's your Maverick. So what I see a lot of times is here, it's a little bit wet on the fringe. It's also a little bit wet in the rough. The putter might snag, it might not come off with as much speed, whereas with the hybrid we can play it much more like a putter. If we can do that, we can get the ball rolling and heading towards the hole. I wouldn't use a wedge, I wouldn't use an 8-iron. The reason why I wouldn't use those is we don't know if we're going to get any check, if it's going to stop dead. With the hybrid we know what we're going to get. So as we've done before, you've seen it, let's grip down the club, play it like a putt.
Where am I looking to land it?
So landing it's just going to be in front of the ball, so we're going to be landing it on the fringe, but then it's going to roll. If you want to have a read of the green, yeah, it's going to come a little bit from right to left. So we're going to aim just right, and then just like a putting stroke.
Somewhere here.
Yeah, it's going to land pretty much straight away, especially with the 3 hybrid. So narrow stance. There we go. Good.
The dream's alive.
Super shot. To a foot. We're more than happy with that. Pop. So Dave, a pretty good save there, so a good chip in the end, and we got out of there with a 5. So 2 over through 3. Not bad, no warm up. Now we've got the hardest par 3 in
Christendom.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So we're going to look at hitting driver. We know it's driver. So
yeah. Just going back to the last hole.
Yeah.
If there were nothing in between me and the pin,
yeah,
would you always, just out of that slight bit of rough, would you always use a hybrid?
Yeah. So good question there from Dave, and it's probably one you're all wanting to know is, would I use a hybrid all the time just off the edge of the green? If we've got nothing to go over and we need to roll, then yeah, we can use a hybrid in that situation, because we can guarantee it's not going to have any check. You can be gripped down the club, you've got a little bit more feel and more control, and from there you can be consistent. So yeah, it's a shot that, like you say, you probably never really used.
I wouldn't have really used it before now.
Not even in Scotland?
No. No.
Not even in Scotland, unbelievable. So it's a shot there you can put in, so anyone looking at around the edge of the green where you get your 60 out, hopefully not, because you're not James Robinson.
No, I'd have gone something like a 7-iron.
Yeah, so Dave would have gone 7-iron, which, like I discussed there, it brings in check. We don't know if it's going to check. If there's a little bit of water on the face, it might shoot off, whereas with the hybrid, we can guarantee more what it's going to do. So, here, driver Dave. I know it's a par 3, but to get there, the pin's at the back, it's playing 250. It's a good drive. And then a chip. Or a pitch. Right, so right side of the tee. There you go. And then good routine, get to your finish position. Right strike. Yeah, that's come on down. So one good thing there with Dave, and we've seen it throughout these shots, is he has a consistent routine. And one thing I don't see amateurs do is have a consistent routine, do the same practice swings, visualise the same. But without speaking to Dave about his routine, we have a little bit on chipping, but in his full swing, it's very consistent. So if Dave can be consistent with that, we know we can get that ball and his misses in. He's repeating the same thing time and time again, and from there he's able to break down why he might have missed hit a shot. Is it his balance in his finish? What's his traits? He can start to improve, and that's how we're going to get Dave to the single figures. Well, famous last words.
I think he'd probably 9-iron.
Yeah, so it slopes back towards you and it's sloping a little bit right to left, so we need something that's going to run. And what I like to see people do here is obviously visualise if they was going to throw a ball, what kind of club would do that. 9-iron I'm more than happy with, so let's get a 9-iron. Same technique as we went through with your chipping, so nothing changes. So narrow stance, good. That's it. When body turns, that left arm stays connected. Very good. Happy with that?
Could have done with it a bit closer if I'm fair.
So Dave, you said you wanted it a little bit closer, but I would say that that's a 30-yard chip, and I'm going to say we're 1, 2, 3, 6 feet away. So if we're talking about tour averages again, that's going to be inside tour average. So expectations, Dave's hit a 9-iron there. It's a good 9-iron. It's near enough pin high. Okay, it's a little bit right. It didn't break as much as Dave thought, but it's inside tour average. So again, expectations, you need to manage those, because Dave's kind of putting himself down a little bit and he's hit a very good chip shot.
Yeah, because you walk up and you want it to be a gimme.
We want it to be a gimme, don't get me wrong. I mean, ideally we'd have it inside a foot, but this is still a very good chip shot for a mid-handicap golfer, even for a low handicap golfer. If this is tour average from around about 30 yards, we're more than happy. So let's read this, Dave, line it up and hopefully sneak out with a par. Great par on the hardest par 3 in Yorkshire. So Dave, 5th hole, we know it's a par 5, we know it's a dog leg, so the flyover is on now for the fans, not the fans of Leeds United. Although hopefully they beat Liverpool on Saturday. Nothing against Liverpool, but not a fan of Liverpool. So, par 5, we know obviously the last time we looked at Arcos and it told you a couple of different ways how to play it. So we're going to hit driver here today, because par 5 I want Dave to start being more confident with the driver, using it as much as possible, not shying away from his driver, which I see too many amateurs do. So we're going to go driver, we're going to aim through the middle of this tee box in front of us, just going to swing in balance. I'm going to see what we do. This is going to be the last hole for this week's assessment, so hopefully we can get out with a birdie, Dave. No pressure, but that's what the fans want. So we can get out with a birdie, but Dave's doing well. He's 2 over so far. Good par on the last, on the hardest par 3 in Yorkshire. That's where it's going to be named. So hopefully we'll see how he goes. Super, so he's took the line that I said, straight through that tee. It stayed dead straight. We don't mind that, he's opened up the hole.
Happy with that.
Good strike. Birdie might be alive. So here's Dave's live. So this is what I talked about on the 3rd hole, how this is a prime example of when the ball's sat down in the rough, we don't always want to go hybrid. So how many times I see people use the hybrid from here, and when they use the hybrid, they catch it on the top, they catch it heavy and it goes 50 yards, and then they're still in the same predicament. I've got a long shot out of the rough. So here we're going to go for an iron. An iron's going to cut through a little bit better. We're going to be a little bit steeper into the back of that ball to guarantee up and out. So Dave, your longest iron's 5-iron?
Yeah.
Let's go 5-iron.
I would never take 5-iron from here, Chris.
No, so Dave would normally use his hybrid like he's just said there, and that's what I see from 90% of mid-handicapper golfers, higher golfers. They think, oh, that's what my rescue's designed for, to get me out of this.
Yeah.
But how many times do you top that ball? How many times do you not get enough distance? Whereas using an iron, we know that's going to cut through and we're going to get a little bit steeper. Great, so a little bit steeper, pops up nicely, and that's gone a good 150 down there. Shot, Dave.
Cheers.
So Dave, good recovery shot into the fairway. You know, 5-iron wouldn't be something that Dave would normally use.
No, no way.
But because we got that steeper angle of attack, we was able to pop the ball up nicely and carry it a long way down here. So we've gone now, we've got 150 to front pin. We've got a good chance of getting on and getting close. The birdie could still be on. So you think from a drive that ended up in some thicker rough, he's been able to rescue that easy with a 5-iron, and now he's got a good chance of getting close on the green. So 150, what club are you thinking?
It's into the wind again, I don't know how, because it seems to be following us.
Into the wind somehow again, correct.
So I'll be going 5-iron again, I think.
5-iron again, so the club is just used, so we're going to play exactly the same. So Dave's going to go at the flag here, because the danger here is the left. So as I come in and as I see mid-handicappers play, I start to look at the trouble and I start to go, okay, if I was going to miss the green, we're not planning to miss the green, but if I miss, where's the best place to miss? So here, for example, if I'm right of the pin, I'm going to be in the rough, but I'm going to have a lot of green to work with. If I go left and I catch it a bit heavy, I've got the awkward 40-yard bunker shot that even I hate, so never mind you mid-handicappers and normal golfers. Or if he gets it good, and it goes in the green side bunker, all the green slopes away. So that's left hand side is what we're trying to take out. So here I'm going to get Dave to aim at the flag. His normal shot shape will move a little bit to the right, and if it does that, we're going to have a putt or we're going to have an easy chip. So in you come, Dave. No pressure, I've talked you through it all.
It reminded me where not to go.
Super shot. So little fade, started at the flag. Got a big bounce right. But we've got a good putt. Great shot in.
Thank you.
So as we know, if we go back to tour averages there, we start to think Dave had 150 yards in there to the green. He's hit a 5-iron and we're around about 15 feet away, maybe a little bit more. So way inside tour average. So give or take 18, 19 feet, so that's going to be inside tour average, which we're more than happy with. So Dave's currently 2 over. This is for another birdie chance, so par 5 so far. You've had 2 good chances, so let's read it and let's go.
I think I read it right, it's just a bit short.
Good line, downhill, a little bit short. So let's finish that one off for a par. So same, especially on these ones, I see too many times amateurs go up, try and knock it in. Take your time, line this one up like Dave is now. Should be right edge. And from there, you can start to hole more of these. I see people come time and time again, oh I miss short ones, or do you line the ball up? No. Be a good start, take a little bit of time. Good.
Take a 5.
Good 5, not quite the birdie that we wanted, the fans wanted, and Dave's let everybody down, but you know, Leeds fan. What can we say?
Matching on
Really?
together.
So that's the first 5 holes. It's been a good first 5 holes, you know. Again, without a warm up, Dave's been able to get out here 2 over through 5 holes. So last time we played, I believe he was either 4 or 5 over.
Yeah, I think it was 5, I think.
Potentially 5 over. I know we've played the second as a par 5 today, so that slightly changes it, but he's also had a lot more birdie chances.
Yeah.
So we can see by me plotting his way round, you've played probably 4 or 5 different shots that you wouldn't normally. And I know Dave on a lot of holes would have pulled out his 3-wood. He said in Scotland last week, pulled out a lot of 3-woods. Well, actually a couple of weeks ago now, he pulled out a lot of 3-woods because he wasn't confident with the driver. So he's hit some good drives. And so far, 2 over. So next week we're going to do part 2, just like last time. So we're going to play the 6, 7, 8 and 9. And then we're going to have a look on our course where it's saying you're losing shots. And then we're going to start to have a look at what part of the game we need to address next. Comment below, guys, any other parts you want to look at, any questions you have for Dave, any questions you have for me. We'll try and answer as many as possible. As for now, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.